This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I will be playing the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The campaign is Two Headed Serpent. It was written by Paul Fricker, Scott Dorward, and Mathew Sanderson. It's available directly from Chaosium and also from Drive-Thru RPG. I am the keeper of arcane lore, and this is episode 3. A recap will be given by Julian Arba as his hero, Stony Cooper. So, without any further delays, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Julian?
Thank you, Tom. We are in a camp in the middle of the Bolivian jungle, and we're surrounded by peaceful people and this medical staff that we've come to know briefly. So we all decide to kind of wander around and investigate this village a little bit, and especially the army installation, if you will, that's on one end of this village. We find out that the villagers are in preparation for a ceremony or a ritual holiday that's coming up in the next few days. They're collecting purple flowers. It's something called the Festival of Pillows, as best it translates. And we talk to different people, and we learn that this festival is all about the traditions of this people and how they came to be. Stories about a wise woman who was sent from heaven, and one day she would return and bring enlightenment and take them over to the land of dreams. Certain people have been chosen as part of this. Gregorio, the leader of this tribe, is one of the chosen people. And he explained to me that during the ritual, he's going to take offerings to 5 pillars around the area. He wouldn't really reveal the locations. He said it was secret. So as we were wandering around doing that, Dr. Harrow decided to nose about over where the soldiers were staying. And he found their living conditions to be quite dreadful. We made a lot of observations about the soldiers who were standing guard around one particular hut. Probably the worst guards we've ever encountered as soldiers. They stood there diligently. But as we're doing all these things, Jack is over fiddling with the radio. And it's a really good thing Jack was doing that, because he heard a message come through. A message about, no, they're dead. We might have to recruit more. There are strangers in the village, probably us. We need to do something about it. That's not good. So we decide to do something. The first thing we do is we sneak up on these 2 statue guards, knock them out. It's a little bit too easy. And we get inside this hut, and we find all sorts of interesting things, like a big box of hand grenades and various types of weapons. We also find a map, and this map looks very similar to another map that we were provided initially, except this one has drawings on it and script that we believe is in the Nektal language. And it's all marked out like the soldiers are doing a search pattern around a particular area that was a battle a week or so ago, I believe. So, and amongst all this excitement, we decide that it's a good idea to defend the village. And we all position ourselves. Jack has come up with some excellent traps that are going to cause all kinds of trouble, and that's great. And we've all taken up positions. Some of us on the front lines, some of us are in the back, hoping they are the last people to somehow scrape themselves out of this. But as we are waiting, we do eventually see some soldiers coming out, and two of them look a little bit more like officers and the rest look like enlisted individuals. And that would all be fine, except they have an escort, if you will. Two creatures also come out of the woods, not dressed, but they look something between a wolf and a Komodo dragon. And there we are, waiting.
So as you are waiting, and this line of soldiers breaks the tree line, you can guess that they probably don't see you. You're not just standing there, so you're kind of hidden. They start moving forward. The beasts that they are with seem to howl hungrily as they're being led forward. And you watch in anticipation as they slowly approach the spot where you've strung up the explosives. Since Jack did it, Jack, I would like you to do a luck roll.
Okay. 35 under my 94 luck.
Excellent. Okay. As they're moving forward, suddenly there is you hear the officer sort of in the back yell what sounds like, "Wait!" But just as he does that, one of your hand grenades goes off. And when it does, it's right next to one of those beasts. And it just, blows a hole in the side of the beast, and a couple of soldiers go flying. And the beast is wounded, and now it's howling. It's a horrible, horrible sound. The officer in the back, you hear him yell something, but you don't understand it. And oddly enough, it sounds a little like the static that you were hearing on the radio. He says, this, and the men start marching forward. But as they're marching forward, they still are not, they're not avoiding the hand grenades. You see a couple of them walk once again into the rope, and a couple more hand grenades go off. And then he yells something else, and they begin shooting in your direction. Bullets are flying. They've halted in their tracks. What do you guys do?
And the beasts have also stopped.
Well, one of them is
well.
dead. No, the beasts have stopped. They've, like a dog on a leash, they've kind of stopped them from moving forward. But now they're all shooting.
I'm assuming that if we remove the leadership, that these grotesque monstrosities will be easier to handle. So I'm going to see if I can pick off the boss in the back. One of the three officers that we believe was staying in that relatively complete hut. Let's see, there's La Fuente, Anguelo, and Rodriguez. Whoever's been yelling. I'm comfortable firing 2 pistols at once, but given that Stoney and I have taken up sides and barricades, I think it's a single pistol shot for me.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and try it? He's quite a ways away from you still, but
Ooh, yeah, well, that's just a regular, so I don't know. If should I roll a penalty die because he's far away, or
no, you got a regular.
yeah.
I got a hard. Uh, so just as your bullet in slow motion is flying through the air, heading straight right towards him, the other officer next to him yells something in whatever that language is and throws himself forward and gets hit by the bullet and goes down. You hear there's commotion. He yells something at the men, and now the men are running forward. There's a big enough hole where the string has been broken and the grenades have gone off that they can just run through it. But they are running towards you. Meanwhile, you see the officer, the one that you were aiming at, sort of lean down to the one on the ground, and looks like he pulls out a bullet or pulls out a gun and shoots the guy on the ground. And then there's too much smoke and chaos coming towards you at that point.
Curious discipline.
I also want to aim at one of the officers.
Okay.
Now, since I was more off to the side, I assume I'm not seen and I can use my shadow ability or not.
Sure.
Talent. Okay.
What does that look like?
Reduces difficulty by 1 level or gains a bonus die at the keeper's discretion to stealth rolls. So, okay. And if currently unseen, is able to make 2 surprise attacks before the location is discovered.
Okay. So describe the scene for me, how it plays out.
So I imagine I'm in the tree line more off to the side instead of in the camp. I see this explosion go off. I see this officer put the other one out of their misery, for lack of better words. And just as he's like pulls out his gun and aims it at the ground and shoots the other guy, like I have a clear line of sight just between some trees at him. Like I just see like the back of his head and try and aim for that.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I have a regular success 56.
Okay. Once again, I got a hard. So we'll just say at this point, your bullet grazes him. But he acts like a soldier. He's not going to give in to fear. So he realizes the bullet must have come from another direction. He yells something, and the people start to spread out. But they'll be reaching you in the next round. So, who's next? Remind me where you are. Fern, where are you?
She's the kind of shimmied herself up that radio tower.
Okay. Dr. Lloyd?
I'm staying in the back, defending very bravely the tent where most of the civilians have been located. So I'm standing out front.
And Stoney?
I'm up front with Dr. Harrow.
Okay.
I think Jack.
Go ahead.
Somewhere between Stoney and Dr. Harrow, back a little ways behind some cover.
Okay. There's more soldiers than you thought there were at first. You were expecting maybe 6. There's probably closer to 12. But some of them you've killed, or some of them have been blown up by your hand grenades. All right, what's your next move?
I know personally I'm staying in the back just to see if anyone's coming towards this part of the camp. If I see anyone, I'll take a shot, but I doubt I've seen anyone get this far into camp.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of back here trying hard not to be seen. And yeah, silent protector.
I think since Dr. Harrow is shot, I kind of yell over to Stony. How's your skeet shooting, Stony?
And I say, pretty good.
All right. And I'm like, all right. And I take one of my bottles of toxic plant goop and throw it as hard as I can, arcing to where hopefully it's going to be somewhere over a group of them. And Stony can blast it out of the sky and rain down toxic plant goop all over them.
Okay, Stony, give us a shot.
All right.
Remember that you can spend luck on shots.
Okay. I'm gonna spend the luck. I'm gonna have to math it out, but it's a lot, and I'm gonna to do a regular shot.
Okay. Describe
Need
it.
help with the math?
Does it look like?
Yeah, so I'm from behind mine, I yell, and then I just lean and just, remember my baseball days and just throw it as hard as I can, arcing up.
It sails out right over the soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent the 28 luck to make that shot, but I had a lot of luck anyway. Yeah.
28's nothing for you. You've got it. Your cup runneth over.
So Jack has flung this bottle. It's flying through the air. It's right over the soldiers. Stony, will you describe it for me?
Yeah. I'm tracking it, and I'm having a little trouble, but I try to catch it right at the right spot and burst the glass right
There's
over
that
him.
shattering glass sound deadened by the liquid inside of it, and this green sort of blanket flies out and lands all over the soldiers that are advancing. For a moment or two, nothing seems to happen. The soldiers seem to be impervious to any kind of pain. At least it seems that way at first. But then you notice one of them doing this, and then the next one starts grabbing, and they start flailing around all of a sudden. And there's this gap of time as they're flailing. The looks on their faces is still blank. And then all of a sudden their faces contort into pain, and they start screaming. They no longer seem to be in that sort of mesmerized state. You hear the captain back behind them yell something, and the remaining lizard thing comes rushing forward. But as it does, you see the captain move back into the jungle. Now that thing is coming at you, growling, snapping its alligator-like teeth.
Where I'm at from the radio tower, would I be able to have a shot at it?
You're throwing also a bottle of that stuff?
No,
Or
I've
you
got
shooting?
my
You're
rifle. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
All right.
You're up there with your legs wrapped around it and you're balanced.
Yep, and I'm aiming. All right, go. Ooh, I'll spend 18 luck for a hit.
Okay. And I would like you to do a strength roll as well.
Okay. Oh, yes, 46 under 50. Yes.
Okay. You come very close to knocking yourself off the tower with the gun. But your bullet hits. You see it hits the creature like in the shoulder, and it suddenly starts acting lame. Uh, and like any animal would, now that it's injured, it sort of makes a break for it. It's sort of breaking towards the side. Um, it like doesn't want to be in this fight. Or maybe also somehow it has broken free of its control. All right. At this point, the couple of soldiers that are still left are moving forward, blank-faced. They're going to be firing. This is going to be more of a luck roll to see if they actually manage to hit any of you. And they got 96. So they're firing, but they're not hitting any of you. The captain seems to have disappeared back into the woods, leaving the other officer on the ground. And just when you sort of think that you've got the advantage now, you're on the top side of this fight. The captain hasn't run away. He's just on the edge of the forest. And you see looks like he's rooting around in his clothes, trying to find something. And he turns forward again and he pulls up something in his hand. It's hard to see what it is, but it almost looks like a seashell, or it's got a little curly cute end, but it's also got like a pipe end. It looks like a pipe. And he puts it in his mouth, and you can see that he blows. And when he does, there's a sound like it's a high-pitched whistling sort of sound, but you can also sort of feel it vibrate in your chest when he blows it. And within a couple of seconds, you can hear a very loud crashing somewhere behind him, moving through the jungle. Fern, you're looking out. You're up higher than the jungle, than part of the jungle. You can see trees and stuff in the distance smashing down. Something is coming this way. Something big. What's your next move?
Well, I'm yelling down, boys, there's something big coming at us.
How big?
Godzilla big.
Except you see nothing above the tree. So
I've got a question. Did we all know where those grenades were hidden, or did only Goose know?
No, everybody has them. Stony also took some with him, so I
you get the
assume.
ones. You mean the ones that were strung up?
Oh,
You can probably guess that some of the ones on the sides are still active. The ones in the middle have all been blown up. So,
In the case that they came in, we know where that is still. I thought it
yeah,
was hidden.
you've got that safe somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make a mental note that I know where it is, and I want to be within running distance of being able to get over there within just a few short seconds if need be.
Okay.
Because hearing that something bigger and nastier is coming has me a little on the timid side.
Okay.
Now,
Meanwhile, we'll also say that some of the soldiers, some of the townsfolk, are also shooting at the soldiers. Of all of them, Giorgio is like right up there with you, defending his town. All right.
so the soldiers are all moving into the camp. So the captain is basically alone, right?
Yeah,
I want to
he's
see
got a
if
lot
I
of cover around him.
I want to see if I can sneak up to him and like
Okay. You
do
will have to
something
get
there.
a hard stealth.
Well, that should be no problem. I have an 18. That's without any pulp talent, and that's already a hard.
He got a 17. So what I'm
I
going
can
to say, go ahead.
I can spend 10 points of luck to make mine an extreme if need be.
Okay, you can do that.
Done.
All right. So you've gotten fairly close to him. You can see that he's been slightly wounded where he got nicked. Maybe it's across the neck or like here where he got hit. It's green. It's not red. You'd expect a torn part of the skin to be red. It's not.
Yeah.
What do you want to do now that you're that close?
I want to, let's see. I want to grab him, turn him around, and tell him to call off his dogs.
Okay. Give you a quick look at what he looks like. Okay. You reach forward and you punch him in the face. And as you do, he falls to the ground and he's yelling. And you notice that the side of his face where you punched him has torn open.
So I reach out and I try it looks like there's something underneath, looks like he's wearing a mask or something, right?
Right.
So I try and remove the mask, just rip it off. Like, what are you?
Okay. When you just probably plunge your fingers into that hole there, just rip it to the side, you realize in that moment that you are tearing human flesh off of him. But underneath, he looks like a snake-faced person. At the same time, I'd like you to do a luck roll.
89, so I failed.
Okay. As you pull that off, he looks at you with, daggers in his eyes as he's looking at you. And he goes, and you get hit in the face with something that burns like acid. And you feel him sort of push you off. And you're completely blinded and in excruciating pain. Like he spit acid in your face. Meanwhile, what's everybody else doing?
The surviving Komodo wolf has stomped completely off the field.
It's ran, yeah,
Yeah.
to your right.
I'm completely disinterested in the remaining zombified soldiers. So I'm going to leave cover and begin marching directly toward El Capitan, and presumably that whatever he summoned with his big dog whistle. I want to be able to get into position either to end El Capitan or be prepared to see what's coming and have first dibs at it.
Well, what happened was you saw Gustav suddenly just sort of unmold out of a shadow and knock him on the ground. And they fought for a few moments on the ground. And then you see Gustav almost do a backflip off of him, screaming, holding his face. And the captain rolls sideways and manages to get into the jungle. So you don't know, you don't see the captain at this point. He's gotten away. The soldiers who were hit by Jack's poison, they're all screaming. Well, they're not screaming so much anymore, but they're yelling like they're in pain. But they're also not fighting anymore because it seems like they're coming to their senses. They don't understand what's going on.
Yes, we'll need to get those men to the infirmary. But the captain had bent over to retrieve that whistle from some satchel or something.
Like out of his clothing. So he was.
So it went with him. I assume that he's running in the direction where the big stomping is coming from. Is that more or less?
Think so. Yeah.
So I'm going. I want to see what's coming.
Okay.
So
are you running up to where
following.
Gustav is?
Yeah. I'll get to Gustav before I get,
Do a spot hidden.
I think it would be silly to spend more than 20 luck on that. So distracted. Okay. I'll toss him a cloth with some rubbing alcohol on it for his face.
Okay. It just hits him in the face because he can't see what you're tossing.
Well, it hits the back of his hands as he suffers. Wipe it off, man.
Arrow, is that you? This thing just spit something in my face. It's not human.
Yes, hopefully we have the right antivenin. Clean it off for now. Mind your eyes.
And I'll start cleaning. And I'll say he went that way and probably point in the totally wrong direction.
Yeah, you don't really know which way he went.
Yeah.
Stony, what are you doing?
I see Dr. Harrow head towards Goose. So I'm going to continue to fight the soldiers that are still active.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and do a shot, and we'll make it easy, and this will just take care of the rest of the soldiers. We don't need to play out every single.
Yeah, that's just a regular success.
Yeah, you killed the two that are maybe still on the way, that seem to be mesmerized, but all of the other ones now are helpless on the ground, writhing in gimpy pain, but coming to their senses. The animal has run off into the jungle towards the side, and the captain seems to have disappeared. But you now notice just beyond where Dr. Jude and Gustav are, the jungle is smashing down. Something is coming. And you can see there's a dark shape that seems to be in the underbrush that's moving in this direction. It's going to get to Dr. Jude and Gustav first if they don't get the hell out of there.
I'm going to yell at the soldiers that are sort of with it and instruct them to flee.
Okay.
Try anyway.
We'll see how many of them will flee, how many of them are... Only 3 of them are not in enough pain to sort of limp quickly towards the village. The other ones are they're in pain, so they're staying where they are.
Okay.
Jack, the Dr. Green, what are you guys doing?
Well, I know there's something big coming, Furnace told me, so I've run from my cover. Thing is, a lot of the shooting has stopped towards wherever we have planted our thing of grenades. I imagine I'd kind of scurry over to it. I want to grab 3 and just wrap string around them to make just a little cluster bomb.
Right.
So I'm holding on to that, waiting for this big thing. And then, well, actually, I'm going to go off kind of to the side, waiting for whatever this thing that's coming to show up.
Okay. So, as you guys are standing there, you can see something. It gets progressively more terrifying because it's crashing and it's crashing and it's crashing and things are moving out of its way. And all of a sudden, something seems to almost flow out of the tree line. It's black and it's oily and it's amorphous and it has tentacles and it has little glowing green eyeballs all over it, and it simply is tearing up trees as it's moving forward. Gustav, you are blind, so you're lucky. Dr. Harrow, do a sanity roll. Sanity roll is the only thing you can't use your luck.
50 is good for that, but I think my pistols will do very little against a giant tarry mass, and Gustav is helpless, so I'm going to drag him off to the right out of the path of this thing. How do we stop it from hitting the village, though? Gustav, we've got a giant slime, and it can see and prod. It's like a vast amoeboid.
And I'll reach into my pocket, still wiping the cloth on my face, and just hold out a few grenades.
That might help.
Dr. Harrow and Gustav see it first, and then all of the rest of you see it come boiling out of the jungle. It's maybe 50 feet across and mounded up like a pile of black rubbery goo. It doesn't seem to have any kind of, well, it's like an oil slick. It's colorful, sort of, because the way the light hits it, but it's black, and it is writhing forward at really, really fast speed.
Do we all
you can all do sanity rolls, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Except those of you who already have.
I passed. 31
Passed.
under 50.
I failed.
What'd you
Way
fail
up
by?
there.
Fast.
I failed by like 30.
If you fail, do a, oops, where is it? Do a 1d8.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a lot. What if you pass?
If you pass, you're going to take a sanity point.
6.
Just one?
6. Yeah, just one. 6. Do an intelligence roll. Furry.
Oh, I'm so smart. Why am I so smart? Oh, yeah. I totally know what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you've looked under enough microscopes to realize that if this is some sort of giant amoeba-like creature, it'll just grab anything that it touches and absorb it and melt it with acid. And so you're up there on the tower, you're grabbing a hold of the tower, and you're just screaming bloody murder at this thing. You can also take 5 points of Cthulhu Mythos for seeing it. I think actually you all get 5 points of Cthulhu Mythos for seeing it.
Except for me.
Yeah, except for you. Lucky you, you're blind.
You're never going to believe what we saw. Ah!
So the creature boils out into this area, and the first thing it grabs is a couple of the soldiers that are screaming, and it lifts them in the air, and you can see like orifices open on the thing, and it just starts popping them in its mouths and continues to run forward. Dr. Harrow, do a spot hidden again.
Oh, 14. That's hard, not extreme.
So despite your terror and the fact that you've got Gustav and you're running away, apparently when Fuente fell, that little whistle went flying, and you see that it's right next to your feet.
Ah,
It's surprisingly large, it looks like a black, I don't know how to describe it. You know what a roly-poly is? It looks like a roly-poly with a tube coming out of it.
it's suitably vile.
Yeah.
Does it have finger holes, or is it a one-shot?
No, but there's definitely a way, if you blew into it, it would make that whistling noise.
All right, I'm going to hold on to Gustav and backing into the jungle, give it a short hoot, double trill.
When you do, the thing seems to stop in its tracks. Uh, what does everybody else want to do? Jack, you were getting ready to do
I want to,
something.
well, the idea was I was going to throw my newly made cluster bomb at it, but seeing as it's oily looking, I think I want to light this stick of dynamite and throw it instead.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and, I don't know, do you have a throw roll?
I do have quite the throw roll.
Oh, nice.
So, and hey, if it stopped at this little toot of the horn. Oh, I don't have that good of a throw roll. That's a 94 over 50. Oh, over
Better spend that
55. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's what I came here for. I came here to spend luck and succeed.
Yeah,
How
spend
much
40 luck.
I will. I will spend 40 luck and go down to 54 luck.
Nice.
God, that's brave.
You light the you light the dynamite, you throw it. And just as you throw it, the thing is amorphous, so it's kind of always moving.
Yeah.
And you see it rolls right on top of the dynamite. And then the dynamite goes off. Do a damage roll.
What would you say that was? 4d10?
4d10.
4d10. All right. So I've only got, let's see.
Hopefully you don't roll a 4.
So, well, that's a 10 on the first roll. 4, so 14. 9, so 10, 4, 9, 8. 10, 4, 9, 8.
23 and 8 make 31.
31.
31.
When that dynamite goes off, it does exactly what you think. This thing gets splattered. Giant chunks of black goo go flying into the air. Its little eyeballs popping as they're going. You can see the half dissolved bodies of the soldiers that were just ingested
Gross.
go flying. It's a huge boom. It hurts all of your ears. And it catches fire at the same time. You see flames ripple across its body. It writhes for just a minute, and then it goes completely limp. Some of the pieces are still wiggling a little bit before they finally stop going. And everything goes quiet.
You can still kind of hear Dr. Green ruffling around trying to shove all the grenades he can into every single pocket. So everything is quiet except for as he's trying to load himself up.
Yeah, Dr. Green, you're there loading up, and you just suddenly hear there's a terrible silence. You don't know what's worse, sound of screams or the sound of silence that comes afterwards.
I think I yell up, Miss Meadows, are you all right up there? Shaking my head.
She's gripping that tightly. Fern, do a 1d4.
Okay. 4.
So for the next 4 minutes, you are kind of out of it. You are just wishing you were back home. You can't seem to let go of that tower. You're just wishing yourself away from all of this horror. So you don't even hear Buzz yelling up at you. Buzz, she looks pretty rattled.
Okay. I think I'm going up after her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there and talk some sense into her.
And it takes about 4 minutes before she shakily is willing to come down with you.
You just hold on, Miss Meadows. I'll get you down here.
I don't want to touch it. Don't let it get on me.
It's in a lot of pieces. I can't guarantee that, but I'll do my best.
All right, Goose, let's get you back to the medical tent and make sure that there's no permanent damage from that venom or acid. And try to watch your step. There are eel-like bits of that thing smoldering in the underbrush.
I imagine that just as I got most of it out, this thing blew up and just blew like a new splash over my over me.
Goose, now
And
do a luck
so,
roll.
okay. 08. So
Oh, that's
pass.
good. Yeah. We'll say that you begin to realize that when Fuentes sort of pulled his head back slightly and got ready to spit into your face, your eyes closed. So the stuff got all over your face. Maybe it got a little into the corners, but you think that with washing it, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I'll follow Dr. Jude's lead as he leads me
We'll
back.
we'll give you one hit point of damage. Just
Our toxic goop worked, Miss Meadows. I mean, it burned those poor guys, but it did snap them out of whatever was going on.
Yeah, it sure did, but they had their own toxic goop.
Yeah,
when you when you speak to the soldiers, they all tell a very similar tale that they were, it was weeks ago that they were on patrol and that that Fuentes just looked them in the face and they were suddenly here, uh, completely mesmerized. Also, there was the other officer. When you recover his body, you realize he too is not human. He is wearing a human skin.
This is something we should probably not tell the villagers about. We should probably take the other officers into their hut rather than terrify these people further. I anticipated, I assume we're regrouping now after the silence once the bird song begins again. Does that seem about right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would come up to all of you and I would look kind of, I'd look strange. I'd have bulges like all throughout me. You're not quite sure what's going on. And I don't know if you can see like a little pin sticking out of my pocket, like precariously, like hoping no one pulls it because I'm a walking bomb at this point, but I'm loaded up to the gills with just like grenades all on me.
But Dr. Harold, the best thing might be to talk to the villagers about this. They've lived here their whole lives, hundreds, thousands of years. We don't know. They might know what this is.
Well, perhaps the sort of headman slash interpreter that was Giacomo. Perhaps we can bring him into the officer's hut and ask his advice about it. But I'm afraid that, a village of women and children out here in rural areas, I don't know that these lizard people are local. So you're right that they might have wisdom about things we do not, but that doesn't mean that they have met lizard men who wear human skins. Poor Captains Fuente and the others. Weren't we expecting 3, though? It was Capitan La Fuente and his sidekicks were Angulo and Rodriguez. So there might be La Fuente is still out there.
And the one that
another.
the body that you retrieve has identification as Rodriguez.
All right.
What the hell was that thing, though?
I don't know, but I know how to summon one. Not that I would choose to do so.
I'm hoping there's not more than one.
What the hell did we get ourselves to?
Do you suppose that's the level 3 threat?
Good.
Level 3, level 4, level 15. I don't know. That thing is huge.
Well, I don't know the measurements, so. But
now, I suppose we'll have to ask our man in New York about that.
Is this really what Caduceus deals with on a somewhat basis?
Let's hope this is an unusually extreme example, shall we? I'd like to perform first aid on Goose.
Okay, can do that.
or medicine for that matter. I'm better at that. Yeah, that's a regular success.
Okay. It says on your sheets what you get back.
Yeah, I think one. He only took one, so
Okay. Yeah, so you get that point back. You
um,
very, very neatly cover his wounds.
uh, I'm interested, frankly, just in terms of intellectual curiosity. Perhaps we should perform some sort of autopsy on the thing that was inhabiting the skin of Officer Rodriguez. Maybe we should get in touch with Shapiro first and see. He said that we should bring any artifacts that were
Should
attached.
we not?
I can't imagine shipping a corpse back to New York City.
We
Should
can
we
take the
not
whistle.
prepare for another assault? What if there's more?
Well, this, and I hold up the grotesque whistle thing. Two toots halted it, which gave Buzz ample opportunity to blow it up. I wouldn't blow it again once long to see whether another comes, but I'm not going to discard it while we're in this jungle. How far do you suppose that thing had to come from?
You can see there's a trail going back.
Yes, we'll have to see whether there's a lair.
I wonder if
Miserable
it's
thought.
that thing that Stony saw
More.
when we first got attacked.
Could have been.
You
Yes.
think the thing you saw, Stony, was smaller. You think
Smaller.
now it might have been one of those lizard dogs. Do a let's see who is asking. Dr. Harrow, do an intelligence roll.
Oh, 9. Extreme.
The thing, the black goo thing, the direction that if you were to follow it back, that would be going to where the battleground,
Mm-hmm.
where there's a place, there's a river between here and there. But that's the direction it would go back towards.
So I imagine that the lizard dogs are the personal pets of the lizard man, and they follow directions. And then when the fellow decided that the situation was lost and he just wanted to end us all, he summoned the slime thing. I don't know.
Well, they
But
don't follow, those dogs don't follow order well. Like the one got shot once and he just up and left.
I mean, he'd seen the other one get blown half to smithereens. That might have put it off its training a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and
I
how
was
did they
thinking-
know to take the officer's skin? And all three of the officers, where were they that this happened to them?
Feels like real human skin. So, like, did they kill
Looking
this
at-
officer and inhabit it, or
Looking at the officer's body that you have, do any of you have medical?
Yes,
How much do you have in medical?
70.
Yeah, I don't think you'd need a roll. The thing that kind of bothers you is the skin, like the nurse was saying, it seems to be kind of loose. Yeah.
Mhm. But not
But-
so much so that they looked like they were just wearing a rubber outfit.
Right.
They were animating it somehow.
You can see that the teeth structure is wrong. He has fangs, like what would be like a snake's fang, but also there's no place on his body like a suture or a cut.
Mhm.
Um,
And the first soldiers that we woke up after the bonking described that the officer walked away and came back a short while later. There wasn't time for them to be murdered, skinned, tanned, and have the clothing put on. It's more like they inhabited the human soldier with their own reptilian form. Very unnatural. Can I peel the human skin off easily,
Yes.
or is it attached with some sort of fiber or sinew or?
No, it seems to be, in fact, the more you start to peel it off, the easier it sort of comes off.
Well,
And
then
you
the
can
fact that
see
it's
that,
dead.
yeah, you can see that there are places on it that are showing necrosis.
Mhm.
It wasn't very fresh. Uh, but somehow it was still being sort of sustained. He didn't look like dead skin. Um, but yes, you are able to remove it completely. And what you find is a creature that looks like a lizard or a snake. It still has two arms and two legs, almost like a dinosaur-ish looking structure to its body. It still has a long tail, which somehow was wound around the inside of the skin. Now that it's released, you don't think you could push it back in. There's something really weird and wrong about it, almost as if part of the whole thing was an illusion that you were seeing, that with an autopsy, it sort of breaks the illusion. It doesn't have feet. It has feet sort of shaped like ours, but it has three toes and it's clawed. So definitely a snake or a lizard would be the best guess. Kind of a cross between both. The head is not lizard shaped. The head is snake shaped.
I think I'm going to have to take another sanity roll. And
Okay.
This is not, yeah, I'm all right, but I'm not all right. I mean,
It also has eyelids, which is surprising.
does it
Snakes
have,
don't.
does it have one, two, or three eyelids? Some
Oh,
reptiles have that nictitating membrane.
yeah. We'll see. There's a nictitating membrane in there.
Yeah, this is not an evolutionary possibility. This is unnatural, abhorrent. I don't like it. I think we should. I mean, again, we can't exactly ship this corpse to New York, but perhaps I'll take some teeth and put the heart in alcohol and ship samples back.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't need to ship the whole thing. We can just ship like a sample of it.
Do we have photographic equipment?
Sure.
Maybe
Okay, I was going to say, does anyone here know how to maybe do like a preliminary what it started as before you started to dissect it, or maybe any of the other dead soldiers, maybe they are growing the same thing inside of them.
That's a good question. The other soldiers are completely normal. Um, this is the only one. And its physical internal organ stuff is strange. It's different. It even has what look like venom glands.
Hmm.
As we saw, yes, we should take a sample of that as well. It might help develop an antivenom. I can compare it to the samples that you fetched earlier, Green. That might tell us something about how to protect ourselves from it. Two more of these things out there. We've got their map, though, and
Well,
they need new soldiers.
it's only one more, right? One was killed. Oh no,
We only saw
sorry,
two of the three.
the captain ran away. Um, I think we should contact Mr. Shapiro and ask him if he wants part of this whole thing, none of it. Maybe he'll tell us to burn it as quickly as possible.
Mm.
If
Well,
Fern rifles through the clothing that the thing was wearing, can she find anything else?
Sure. Uh, do a luck roll.
Okay. Oh gosh, no. That's way too much for me to spend. I did a
Okay.
97.
He might have had something, but it might have fallen out when he fell.
So do we think we should invite Giorgio to inspect this thing? Or keep mum? I
I'm
mean,
This doesn't seem like something that needs to be shared with anybody outside of this group right here.
I agree with Fern. perhaps bringing at least Giorgio into this, he may have legends and stories that pertain to what this might be. So I'm my vote is to bring in Giorgio at least.
I know that in Central America, ancients worshipped a winged lizard. So perhaps there are related myths that extend down into this continent. What do you think, Goose, Buzz?
Giorgio seems reliable.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, same thing. I don't see any problem with Giorgio knowing. I mean, just because may have more information, even if it's like myth or urban legend.
I appreciate your concern, Dr. Green, but given our degree of ignorance, perhaps, again, I don't think we want to invite every villager within a few square miles to come and look at the lizard man. We don't want to cause a panic. But if because Giorgio was also chosen for this religious ceremony, presumably he has a degree of erudition regarding these things. And if it's not local, that would be good to know too.
Yeah, come
So
see
what
the
would
lizard.
you like to do? We'll say just by chance, Giorgio is coming in to where you are. We won. We drove them off. The monsters, all of them. The soldiers seem to be recovering like the others, like they were under some sort of spell.
Yes, I'll be along to help them with their skin lesions as well. The stuff that woke them will have left some marks. When you say you defeated the monsters, Giorgio, are monsters something you're accustomed to in these parts?
Myths and legends, but I've never seen anything like those dragon things or that black ooze.
We have something else to show you on that front. You'll come this way.
My God. It's some sort of snake man.
I'm watching him very carefully to see if I can get any kind of readout on him.
Do a
Just to see
psychology
if,
roll.
yeah, I just want to see if he's going to tell us the truth or if he's going to tell us the whole truth or if this is going to be like a religious thing he's trying to repress from us outsiders. So, is it psychology? Yeah, pass.
He seems genuinely surprised. And as he's looking at it in awe and wonder, he says, "'Tis very strange, though. It's like some of the things on the pillows."
So the ritual you're about to begin, your coming festival, might relate to these things.
I don't know how. This one was dressed like a Bolivian soldier. There are a lot of snakes in the jungle. That's just natural. But we don't worship snakes.
Do you have any histories or legends about any sort of deities, snake similar deities?
We have a lot of poisonous snakes, so we're kind of all afraid of snakes. But we've lived in the jungle, so we kind of know how to deal with all of that. We don't have any kind of snake deities or anything. Our legends of the wise woman, they have mostly to do with our dreams, not the jungle. But now that you say it, the pillow stones they've got designs on them that now that I look at this thing, that's in fact what they could be. We thought they were like representations of nature. But none of us can read the words. None of us can read the the marks on the stones.
Where are these
It's lost the time.
stones? Would you be willing to show us at least these one as it pertains to the safety of your people?
Well, I mean, I'm not supposed to. It's a secret. But I do know that one of them, I mean, I know where they are, but one of them was where that battle took place. We haven't gone out there since the battle. I figured I would check on it when I went this during the festival. All we do is lay flowers and fruit for the
Has there ever
sleeping.
been a time when your offerings weren't made?
I don't know. We believe that she keeps the bad storms and the rains and the floods away from us. I don't know if anyone's ever had such a thing happen. And of course, and he sort of leans forward. He says, the rains still come and the storms still come. So it's just tradition.
Just not the worst ones, perhaps. I would like to show Giorgio the map and the writing thereon and ask if this is what the writing on the pillow stones looks like.
Yes. It looks like this. And
So-
where your man has marked that is the battleground. There are
Yeah.
5 pillow stones evenly spaced. They're about a mile apart, and I follow just my memory of where they are because they get quite overgrown every year in the jungle. It's kind of hard to see, but they're circular and they're sort of domed in the middle, and they have designs around the outside edge. You put the flowers on the top and fruit, and we say our prayers. If you're going to go and look, I'll go with you.
We need to, particularly on the areas of this map that these things hadn't already covered. We think that something's been taken out of some sort of tomb or reliquary at the site of that battle, or that was revealed by that battle. Something that these things want. There are 2 more of them out there, and who knows if they have more of those things.
You don't have to tell me twice that those things are monsters and evil. Look at them.
Your help would be most welcome. Thank you very much.
Especially since you're familiar with this area of the world where we are. Last thing we want to do is step inside of a pit that's meant to catch an animal.
And for that matter, we would like to avoid any sort of sacrilege regarding your ancient stones and landmarks.
I understand. Thank you for that consideration.
I suppose we should see to the injured and
Maybe they
prepare
know something.
to set out in the morning.
I'll put up guards so that if the soldiers come back, we rout them again. I don't think if there are any left, there's not very many of them. I think we just took care of all of the ones that I've ever seen in our camp.
So
Plus, some of these soldiers are still in good condition. They can fight, although they all need baths.
Mm-hmm.
They smell terrible.
Well, and not only that, but if there are 5 pillars and each one has a creature depicted on it, there might be a few more creatures out there of this sort.
I don't know. I've never seen a creature, but there are a lot of animals out there. Probably the most dangerous ones are the snakes, but wear your boots.
other than the large black blob and
know what
these
that was.
snake
A
people.
demon from hell. Yeah.
Did you recognize perhaps the other beasts that were with them? The things that were strangely hairy and reptilian? Have you seen anything like that
I've never
either?
seen anything like that. No. There's no animal like that anyone's ever seen in our jungles.
No old wives' tales? Anything of that?
We have a lot of old wives' tales about, well, you say old wives' tales. They're stories that we make up to keep the children in line so that they don't go wandering off. But,
But
boogeyman stories,
but they don't share any similarities with what we saw tonight.
no.
And
Would
yet
there
the
be any?
writing, these humanoid dragon men share the writing with the ancients that marked your stones.
Show me your map again, the map
Mhm.
on the leather. And he looks at it and he puts his finger on that spot. And he says, "You think these parts here are where they were searching?
I'm assuming that,
They're
yes.
they would have been they would have eventually found one or two of the other stones in that pattern, but they haven't searched in the right area."
Hmm.
And he's like, "The other stone is up here somewhere. There are 5 of them, evenly spaced, like a pentagram."
Dr. Harrow, it just occurred to me, Nurse Bari was implicating things of this nature before we even seen these things. I think she might know something more.
That's true. I wonder what she had seen that made her afraid beforehand. Um, Perhaps you and Giorgio should ask her, sort of emissaries from both camps. And I should
Yeah,
see to the injured men.
I definitely, I'm curious to know how she was aware of these things.
So let's move ahead a little bit. You take care
Um,
of the
if
soldiers.
I just want to ask a question, do I know where the nurse's tent is?
Sure. Yeah.
If they're going to look for her, I want to just casually make my way over there to see if anyone's there or to see if the tent's empty or open.
Okay. Yeah, the tent, you can't really lock up a tent, so it's open. Um, Fern, you go talk to Miss Mbari, and uh, she's almost beside herself, afraid after what, all of that took place today. Um, what do you tell her? What do you ask her?
Well, Nurse Bar, I know you were looking for some sort of mark or bite on me. Do you know how these men that look like men that aren't men, how they're getting infected?
She gets really wide-eyed when you say that. She says, "You've seen them. You know about them then.
We have seen them now.
Their skin is too loose. Their skin is loose, and I think they have scales underneath."
You are 100% right, my dear. But why were you looking for bites on me?
I wasn't. I was looking to see if you had loose skin or
Oh,
if your
okay.
eyes were wrong.
Where did you see the men with loose skin?
One of those soldiers, not the soldiers, but one of the officers. I walked in on him and I thought I was just going crazy when I saw it, but I kept trying to convince myself, but then I saw it again and I was sure that something was terribly wrong and I just wanted to get away, but nobody would believe me. I tried talking to the doctor, and he said I was just working too hard.
Well, hun, I believe you, and if you're not too afraid, would you be able to identify the man that you saw? Could you describe him to me?
Well, it was Officer Rodriguez.
Okay, well, I don't think you need to worry about him anymore, okay?
Was he killed in the? And did you see? Does he have snake skin underneath?
Well, I can say he's not normal, my dear.
You're not sure if she is more calm or more terrified. Because maybe finding out that you're not crazy and that you're right is even more frightening than thinking that you might have just not seen what you saw. But yeah, she looks quite disturbed by what you've told her.
Well, I would ask you, I know that it's a lot, but try not to spread it around because we don't want everybody getting too frightened. We don't know what's out there right now, and we're going to go investigate and try to take care of the problem. But we don't want the children and women of the village to get scared and then run off and possibly get attacked by something else.
Children, we have to save the children. We have to
Exactly.
get the children out of here.
Well, maybe that's something to talk to Grigori about. We don't know if this area is safe right now for them.
She agrees with you, and she leaves, but you can tell that she's very frightened and disturbed. Dr. Green, the nurse's tents seem to be in perfect order, what you'd expect. You're a little afraid that one of them's going to show up and get mad at you for going into their tents without permission, but there's nothing unusual or out of the way.
There were no diaries, nothing like that either. No personal effects that would maybe have anything that might indicate, I don't know, maybe someone here is a member of the Inner Night.
You can do a luck roll. One roll I know you can't roll luck on.
Let's see. 37 on an 87, so that's a hard.
Yeah. You do find things like that. You find letters and stuff, but none of it indicates anything like that. Everything seems perfectly normal.
Okay. I do a quick read through everything and I just put it back where I found it.
Yeah.
I just kind of do another little once over and then I walk out of the tent.
The luck roll was more to see if anybody walks in. Yeah. But yeah. All right. Forget what time this all took place. But we'll say putting it all back together, it's the next morning. What do you guys want to do?
I think when I wake up, I would go. I think we still had some grenade, alerts still out there. So I would go grab those before anybody got wandering off out into the jungle.
Okay.
Oh, I would have put all the grenades back almost all. I would have kept like 4 or 5 on me.
Sure.
Then probably. Sorry.
So if he wants them and he wants to set more traps, they're all there.
Are you setting more traps or are you just collecting the ones that you had set?
I'm just collecting. I left them overnight in case somebody came through at night, but during the day, I feel like, we're probably going to be moving on and I don't want the villagers to have to keep up with where those are. So.
Okay. All right. So you've done that. What do you want to do? You tell me what you want to do.
I think we need
to. It's morning, early enough. You can still have a whole day.
Yeah, I think we're going to wake anxiously after sleeping for the first night in a tent in this place full of monsters. I'll speak for myself. Pack up for a trek into the jungle with Giorgio. He knows he's going to show us what the reptile men have missed.
Do you want to call New York, Dr. Harrow, before we head out?
We should try to reach Shapiro for sure, yes.
All right. I'll get the radio ready and up.
So Buzz, as you're going through the radio, you're still picking up an odd noise. It doesn't sound completely unlike the language that thing was speaking. But it's faint and it's crackly, and then you get caduceus. It's a different frequency. It's not like they're on the same frequency.
Yeah.
You get that. This is
Yep.
Shapiro. What can I do? This is Shapiro.
Shapiro, this is Buzz Bellamy, and got Dr. Haro here. We were just checking in. We might have had an encounter with this level 3 threat.
Oh my. What was that like?
Awful. It was big, oily looking. It's in a lot of pieces now. We dealt with it, but it was, yeah.
Would you categorize an amorphous black slime thing with tentacles and many green eyes and mouths as a level 3? Or is that more like a giant dog lizard? Because we met a couple of those as well.
Well, I mean, we just had rumors. We knew that there was, in the legends, that there was a guardian. We didn't know what it was. We were playing it safe. Describe the thing to me that you fought. You said there were lizard dogs.
Couple
Yeah.
of hairy lizard dogs. Yeah.
Those were the size of what would you say, Buzz? A mature grizzly?
Yeah. Yeah.
They seemed more or less normal sort of organic creatures, although what phylogeny they represent, I can't imagine. And then there was a much larger thing that was gelatinous, massive, good
Lots of eyes.
eyes and mouths and limbs just sort of sprouting at will, oily black.
Responded to a little horn thing.
That's most definitely something we are at least partially aware of. We call them formless spawn, and they are directly related to the god that the Inner Night worships.
What is that thing? What god? So,
They worship a god called Sathagua. There's a limited amount of information we have on that, but it sleeps in the darkness and it eats anything that comes near it. I don't know. It's a nameless horror, so to speak, with a name. Sathagua.
And the inner
You're
night,
definitely then encountering the Inner Night.
are many of them bipedal lizard people?
That's classified.
So you don't need a sample of one of their corpses.
Yeah, that's not necessary. Well, I suppose it would be helpful. There's only so much I can say to you. I mean, you haven't been brought into the inner circle, but you're right there encountering it. Yeah, I mean, there's serpent people.
Mhm.
And he says it kind of quiet so that if anybody else in the office is listening, he's kind of
Is it classified how exactly these serpent people take over human beings? Because they seem to be able to insert themselves into men.
well, I'm going to use a word that I don't really like to use. Magic. They definitely are doppelgangering. They're taking over somebody's skin. But it's an incomplete illusion. keep an eye on their shadows.
Hmm.
Their shadows don't always match what their illusion presents to your eyes.
So their shadows may be like their shadow of their true form type deal.
Well, the shadow of their tail, most likely.
Oh, okay.
Is there
Yeah.
anything else that you shouldn't tell us that you should have told us already?
We're as much in the dark about some of this as you are. Have you located the temple yet?
We're going with a local guide shortly.
Yes,
Okay.
we have a
What-
pretty good idea.
What most likely happened was damage was done. Yeah, magic is a weird thing to talk about because, what we call magic, somebody might have called science at one point. Something happened that alerted us, but it also alerted the inner night. And the only legend that we know about in that area is the thing about the mummy, the thing about a temple with a living thing inside. I don't know what the legends are about that area, but keep me informed. Be careful.
Is the mummy possibly that of a wise woman? Would that be
Could be.
consistent? Ms. Meadows, Mr. DuPont, Stoney, any other green?
And if it is, well, we don't want that damaged. Don't. That could be very important to our cause.
Well, all I have to say is you plopped us out here and now we stepped in a big old cow pile and you holding information back from us at this point. It's kind of dumb.
Well, no, I'm not holding back any information. I'm just, I can't tell you what I don't know. That's why you're there, to find out and then tell me.
So when you say it's classified, it's also classified from you.
Well, what I said when I said it was classified is when I talk about the snake people, but I don't really. At this point, you guys are not in, and I'm speaking to. I'm breaking a lot of rules talking to you in this way.
Well, do we have to sign a form or what's going to make us in? Because
Do we have
I'll
to-
sign a form by now. I've seen enough.
Blow up like
Well,
a level
I mean,
4
it's-
thing or level 5? What level thing do I have to blow up?
What level was that thing?
Well, that was definitely level 3 or 4. The way you described it, your formless spawn, they're nasty. They're what's worse is they're somewhat intelligent. So I don't know how you blew it up. You said dynamite. That would do it.
Put it in your notes. One stick
I've
of
also-
dynamite.
I've also heard that they're kind of oily and flammable.
Yep. Can verify that too.
They're really ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, now that you've seen one, you won't freak out if you see another one. You'll know how to deal with it.
No
I don't
guarantee
know if
about
they're.
that.
Wow, guys, you've done really good. None of you died. Sorry to hear about Gustav, your eyes, but got lucky there. Yeah, they can spit and they can bite you.
Yeah, they're nasty little buggers.
All right, folks. Good luck. Keep me informed. You have any
Okay.
other questions? All right.
Nope.
So Giorgio comes out to meet you, and he says, "All right, I think that we should be armed because that lizard dog is still out there, and so are 2 of those officers."
I don't think I'm going anywhere besides, well, probably not even there. I was going to say besides the bathroom, not armed, but yeah, I think I'm going everywhere armed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a bad idea considering all the snakes there are about here.
Oh, the bathrooms out here are just holes in the latrine. This is something come up from below. All right. So
Giorgio, do you think any of the Bolivian extras are well enough recovered that they should join us, or should we let them?
I don't think so. They're all dead exhausted.
Yeah.
They've been marching for, apparently they didn't sleep much at all. They just
Right.
were
Would
marched
they even
around.
be-
They didn't bathe.
Would they even be useful if they had to turn on their own comrades?
I
I don't
wouldn't
think
want them there anyway. Like maybe the spell lingers or returns somehow and doesn't feel safe.
Well, maybe
All right.
this mummy thing was already removed, because what else would have activated these things to start doing this stuff?
Only one way to find out.
And I
And I
really hate
clock my gun.
and I hate mentioning this as well. Should we go see where this amorphous thing came from to begin with?
I think that's in the same direction. Yeah, I think that's where we're going.
Yeah.
They
So,
just carved a nice path for us.
make sure we have our dynamite. I've got some grenades and
All right. So, Giorgio takes you, you start heading west from the camp area, the direction that this thing came from. It's about 2 miles hike before you get to the river. And the river's pretty rough, but there's a place which you can see on your map that says the ford. That's where you can sort of get across it without being swept away by the river itself. Otherwise, the river is pretty strong, so you wouldn't want to try to cross anywhere else. You think that the creature crossed somewhere north of you, but it must have just plowed over the river as it went. You then start to come to a place where the jungle's obviously been damaged. There have been mortar shells and bombs going off, and you start to encounter bodies and body parts. They're rotting in the jungle. You can smell them. Those of you who aren't used to it, you can do a sanity roll if you want to.
I'm good there.
I should have
If you
thought
fail, just take 1 point. If you pass, then you don't take any points of damage.
I would have expected the local fauna to make off with bits and pieces, but maybe this jungle is tainted by whatever's gone on.
Dr. Harrow, when you say that, you start to realize there aren't any bugs on any of the bodies. There aren't any flies flying around.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a jungle like this should be teeming with life on many scales, but Giorgio, is there anything in the histories about dead pockets of jungle like this?
No, it's usually full of life. I wonder if that thing has frightened away all the animals.
I wonder if maybe it just absorbs things that it travels over.
Well, there would be bugs. This is a feast for the bugs. Where are they?
It probably rolled into them. I mean, this thing was, huge. Probably just absorbed pockets of bugs.
It's also
Well, it
such
would
a
have
large
absorbed the
creature.
bodies too.
True.
And other
Is it
bugs
such-
would fly in.
Now,
Yeah,
do
you
the
notice that
bodies
it's-
look?
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, is there clothing left on the bodies? Can we tell if they were soldiers or just
They were
civilians?
soldiers.
They were.
Well,
Okay.
they were all soldiers, yeah. And you can see remnants of all kinds of what you'd expect to see in a battleground. So there's bits and pieces of weapons. There might be a few other weapons if you needed to grab them. There are lots of places, blast patterns where things have been blasted away. And Giorgio says the first pillow is up ahead. But as you sort of move into a clearing where the battle had been taking place, there is it looks like there was a stone dome, as Giorgio described it. Sort of a flat dome with inscriptions around the outside, but it's been destroyed. There's chunks of it lying all over the place. And in its stead, there is a 50-foot wide across shaft going down into the ground. You're still too far away to see into the shaft, but you can definitely see. And Giorgio is, oh no, one of the pillows has been destroyed.
I'm looking at her bike going, good God, that's huge.
Yeah, it looks like a mortar shell must have hit it directly and shattered it. And there's not enough pieces above, so a lot of it must have caved in, fallen down into the shaft.
So, Giorgio, each of the pillows is a large rock structure like this?
Yes.
A pillow for a giant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in different parts of the jungle. Like I say, the next one's about a mile that direction. The other one's about a mile that direction. He's described them as 5 of them in a pattern.
Pentagonal, yeah. Do your people know about cave systems in these parts?
Not that I know of.
Well, I'm afraid we've got to look down there, although I can imagine there are more of those spawn. And this seems like a place a spawn would come out of.
What if those pillars were keeping these things asleep? And when they destroyed it, it allowed them to be released.
A big rock over their hole, it's their door.
You can estimate that the lid must have weighed 40 tons.
Yeah, so I'll look to Giorgio and ask, do all the domes, they're all this big? They look exactly the same, under the dimensions?
They have different writing on them. They have writing all over them. And I guess they some have the little depictions of the snake people. Though I admit I didn't realize that's what they were. You'll see if he points maybe to a big broken piece. You can see, here's one. And now it seems obvious that it's a snake person. But it also could sort of be a V weird shape,
Well, maybe your lady of dreams, was the one that was keeping these underground, and your offerings were to thank her for keeping them down there.
Well, the offerings were to thank her for not bringing the storms or the rain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Maybe
know.
they're the storm.
We've been doing it since we can't remember, all the way back in our history.
Let's
So
just
the
take it.
map.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about the map, the areas that had been shaded, and showing that to Giorgio right now, just looking at it. How many of these areas marked off are in the areas where the pillar?
None of them.
Sad.
It looks
So
like
just
this is the one pillar. They were searching over here, but the star configuration is off this direction. So they would have definitely gotten to it eventually.
Just, yeah.
We need to get there ahead of them.
This has to have been recent then, really recent.
This was when the battle was going on.
How in the hell
So
did he
2
ever
weeks
place
ago?
these stones?
2 or 3 weeks ago. March 7th. It's currently what? March
Yeah, and
14th?
how long did those soldiers come to your village, Gregorio?
16th.
Less than a week, or about a week ago.
Mm-hmm. And that's when Nurse Barry saw that Rodriguez, all saggy skin.
So do you think this right here might have started? I don't know if it was a battle and they accidentally opened it up and that's what started all of this. Because
Yes.
everything started going fishy 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah.
if that's the case and they accidentally blew this thing up and it wasn't supposed to be opened.
No. And this would have been fairly dense jungle right in here too, and a lot of it's been burned by the battle.
I wouldn't imagine that one of the local artillery shells would be enough to destroy a rock of this size, but perhaps it was enough to deface it. And then whatever
Or
forces are
crack
at
it and then
play.
it'll all fill in.
Yes.
Yeah, and Fern's kind of going over to her group away from Giorgio. And yeah, but do you think that the internet was using these soldiers to open this thing up? Because they're supposed to be worshipping this thing.
Well, I think that soldiers are probably conscripted from all over the country, and the locals are the ones that know about the myth. And Shapiro suggested that something tipped the inner night off and tipped Caduceus off when the thing broke. So maybe there's some sort of shock wave. Confidential, I suppose.
Do you think they were keeping an eye out for something like this? This thing happened, it opened, and then it caught their attention, and they all came
Seems
here
like
just as
it.
this was all
Yeah.
going to hell.
Seems
That's my
like it.
impression, yes.
Giorgio seems very curious about the giant shaft because he didn't know there was anything under the stone. So he's heading over there because he wants to look down.
Yeah, me too. I was going to ask, is the shaft going straight down? Is it at an angle?
As far as you can see, it looks like it's going straight down.
And
And
is
it's
it
just blackness because the light
And
doesn't reach as
Giorgio,
far.
Well,
don't go,
yeah,
don't go.
I haven't
doing stuff.
described getting there yet. So
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Don't
We
don't
should-
be going over there. Granny always said, don't go poking your head down in holes. You don't know what's down there.
I'm going to
Definitely.
join him.
let's get some ropes along the side. There might be loose soil or whatnot. Let's not go spelunking accidentally. And I'll start
okay.
rigging up some safety lines so that we could look without plummeting into the depths.
All right. So as you get closer, and you look down, the first thing you notice is that there are stone stairs. They are going down in a spiral down into it. The thing, Jack, that you notice right away is the material of the tunnel or the shaft seems to change as it goes down. You can't see down very far, maybe 100 feet, but you're guessing that it might go even 1,000 feet down. And there are a few places where when the lid cracked and broke and fell in, it smashed some of the stairs. So there are some gaps going down. There is no smell. It doesn't smell any different than the air around you.
I'd like to pick up a rock about the size of a golf ball,
Okay.
and just drop it and
On
listen.
1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. You hear it clatter on the bottom. So you're guessing 1,000 feet, maybe. I don't know what the actual count would be, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I
about
get it.
1,000
Yeah.
feet.
Come on, do the math.
the
It's
whole-
negative 9.8 meters per second squared.
We'll let Dr. Lloyd do the math.
Well, and we don't know what kind of air conditions are down there either. You know, sometimes there's fungi that grow that can release spores in the air, and we don't want to be breathing that in.
Do
You
we
don't
think
smell
that-
anything.
I mean, this has obviously been discovered by what was Rodriguez and company. So if the mummy were down here, they'd have taken it. Should we go to one of the intact pillars instead before we descend into this?
Well, do we see any other ropes going down into the hole? Because how would they have climbed? When was the stairs? We're assuming the stairs were destroyed when the pillar dropped. So how did they get down there?
Maybe they rode their slime or used their tails.
I mean, the stairs are broken so that you can jump between them, I assume, right?
You could go down quite a ways before you get to broken stairs.
I think it's prudent to check this one out before we go anywhere else. Just to see what we're up against, just to get a feel for how these things look. This one's been cleared by Rodriguez and his pals, so we might, be in less danger here. Yeah, because there might be formless spawns in the other ones as well. And here, one might have already left.
We're not too far away from the camp either. It's a safe enough distance. We could get back there if need be before we go trekking off into another random parts. We might need more people with us if we were to go explore another one.
Well,
And if it's a 40-ton stone still intact on top of it, good luck getting in any other one.
You do have dynamite and grenades.
That's true. That's true.
Which might explain why they had dynamite.
But I don't know how Giorgio will react if we blow up one of his sacred stones. Let's be nice to him.
Well, since you're all so tickled about descending into the bowels of the earth, this time I'll go last. Mr. Green, Dr. Green.
The stairs themselves are wide enough that two people could go side by side. You can see the pit's about 50 feet across. So who's going first?
Do we want to rig up some torches as well as, I'm sure we have a couple of lanterns, but...
Yeah. Probably a good idea. Yeah.
Something, because we have no idea how long we'll be down here. It might be dark. It might be hard to find our way back up.
I think generally 1,000 feet down to the earth, it's going to be dark.
Would there be any way that we could perhaps, if we have lanterns or anything that we could leave at the broken sides of the stairs so that we can see where it starts and where it ends, so that there's no accidental going off into the pit?
You can also say that it's maybe only about 9 o'clock a.m.
Okay.
So
right, the sun will be directly overhead at this latitude. We'll actually get fairly good light down there, so we can see the monsters before they eat us.
I don't think we have torches or what am I trying to say? Not torches. They also use them like flares.
You can do a luck roll, see if you brought torches with you.
How about flares?
I did.
Also, if it's really a labyrinth down there of cave systems, we need like some system to find our way back. So a rope or notches in the wall or rope would be best, I think.
I rolled a 20 on my 87 luck.
Okay.
We could leave breadcrumbs behind us.
Yeah, but if our torches go out,
You've got sources of light, We had this 1930, 33, you have flashlights. Although, to be honest, those flashlights back then only lasted about an hour before they ran out of batteries, but we'll ignore that.
I'll take a source of light and be up front.
Okay.
We could just use them as need be, one person with a light at a time.
All right.
And just, once it dies, piggyback to the next one.
So the stairs themselves seem pretty hefty. They seem to have been sort of built out of the structure itself, and though some of them have broken because of the 40 tons of rubble that hit them, they don't look like they're going to crumble anytime soon. Also, very shortly, when you're sort of past the damage, which, within 20 feet or so, you're past the upper damage, Everything looks in pretty good condition. There's a little bit of dust, but this shaft, you're guessing, was pretty much sealed, airtight sealed.
And it's
And
carved from the living stone.
well, yeah, you're not sure. There's definitely shapes of blocks. So, like a well, it might have been dug out and then lined with rock. But after about 150 feet, there comes a line, and the line goes all the way around the circle, and there's a transition between the brick or the stone, and then there's something that looks very much like metal. It's got a bit of a bronze color to it. And you can see that it has bas-relief of things that have been molded or carved into it. What you see at first are a repeating pattern of, for all into, I'll just call them serpent people. And they all seem to be facing forward. As you're going down, they're facing in that direction. It doesn't look unlike Egyptian pictograms, like the insides of their tombs. There are various snake people, and they are farming and doing things and making things like pots. And it very much looks like you're looking at an ancient civilization's history in metal bas-relief. And this continues for maybe another 100 feet. And then there is once again a line. And now you're not sure what the wall is made of, because the wall is now painted. And it's been painted with meticulous pictograms of various things from what you're now going to start calling the Serpentine civilization. It definitely looks like they had some sort of civilization. Jack, do a spot hidden for me.
Okay. Let's see. We'll spend 12 luck to make that a success.
Okay. The stairs have also changed material, and you're pretty sure at this point they're some sort of metal. You also notice the seams between where these parts of the shaft attach to one another. You start to get the odd feeling that this whole shaft could rotate in some manner, like it's part of a mechanism. And indeed, as you get lower, you start to notice slits and holes in the wall that seem to indicate almost gear-like mechanisms, as if you're inside of some sort of machine. And by this point, you can see that the shaft goes down, as I said, 1,000 feet. As you start to look down, you can see big chunks of the cap that had fallen down and smashed into the floor. The floor doesn't look that much different. It does seem to be made out of metal with a kind of humped central hub to it. But what's really interesting are the hieroglyphs, or the pictograms. What you see is a story that is sort of laid out. You've now gathered that you've seen things that would indicate that the Serpent Empire, or the Serpent civilization, rose and then it fell, and then it rose and then it fell, and that instead of these little golden-looking snake people, you now have blue snake people and red snake people and gold people. and they seem to be in conflict over something. And there seems to be a volcano shape with a kind of castle or something over the top of it. And are there wars? And it's very much, like I say, like you're looking at the pictograms on an Egyptian tomb. And then finally, as you're getting towards the bottom, you see a depiction of what seems to be a temple, a grand temple, with with 5 pillars around it. And there are these huge, hairy people. They look more like humans than the snake people, but they're much bigger than the snake people. They look like they're, you'd say, 20 or 30 feet by comparison. And they seem to be building this temple and constructing it. And there seem to be what look like gears and part of some giant mechanism. And then there is a female snake figure who wears a crown on her head, and it has little snake-like diadems coming out of it. And in one hand, she holds what looks like a scepter, and in one hand, she holds what looks like a whip or a flail. And they're all sort of bowing towards her as she's ascending the throne in this grand temple. And then the final depiction is, it looks like they're triggering it in some way. She lays down on a slab, they trigger something, and the entire temple and everything buries itself in the ground. And that's the last thing that's there. You think that you could spend years studying all of this elaborate stuff, giving you this completely different history than anything you've ever seen. There are even a couple spots in there where you see humans, but the humans are about the same size as the snake people. And you're not sure what any of it actually means. Whoever this person is, with the flail and the whip and the staff and the crown, seems to be the central figure.
Well, I'd rather she stayed slumber beneath her temple of 5 pillars or pillows, whichever color of snake people she was chief goddess of.
Well, I think Giorgio knows who she is.
Yeah, what does he look like after us discovering all this? Does he look like he just found, like, like the Holy Grail or something?
He's been an absolute wonder looking at all of this. And he says, well, our wise woman was never described as a snake, but this kind of looks like the same legend, only snake legend version. And you're all kind of surprised at how good all of the artwork is. It's been perfectly sealed down here without deteriorating much at all.
Is there enough light down here that we're all casting shadows?
Mm-hmm. Well,
What is
sort of, yeah.
What is
Your
our
shadows
guide's
all look
shadow?
normal.
What does our guide's shadow look like?
Looks normal.
He's fine.
I still want to do a sight
Motel.
check on him or something, because he's taking this very well. Like what you
Well, I'm
believe
just not
for.
talking about him. He's about as in as much wonder as you are.
But okay, wonder is a little different than what I would expect, because basically his story is like he called these serpent people monsters when he saw them lying down on the table.
Because
or
he's
the
never
one.
seen anything like it before.
But these might be the
you don't
precursors
get
to
any
these people at this point.
nervousness from Giorgio.
Oh, okay.
But he's
Doesn't
also
have
a
a
brave
tail.
man,
The
so
shadow
he's
has
not.
no tail.
He doesn't have a tail.
Okay. There are humans here in these pictograms. Who knows? But I'll leave it be.
Do the humans in the pictograms look like servants?
That's a hard interpretation to make. They all seem to be deferring to this this golden snake woman. She is in gold, and most of the others are in red or blue. So, like, there's 3 factions.
Right. Do these colors mean anything to you, Giorgio?
Really,
The one we found was green after all, but maybe it's their insignia and not their flesh. Here at the bottom, amongst the rubble of the cap, are there channels out, or is this
no.
the end of that shaft?
And the
Literally
floor
just a
seems to
hole.
be metal. The more, if Buzz explained it to you, it does seem like you're in some sort of mechanism. Maybe the giant hairy things built this whole complex, and this is part of the mechanism that makes the temple sink into the ground.
Right, like we're in some sort of giant drill bit.
Yeah.
Right. But it also seems like it could be reversed, or it might reverse itself.
I imagine that our lizardy associates would like to raise up the Golden Snake Lady's temple and reassert their domination over the planet. Can we maybe just blow it up?
And then Giorgio says, you know, there was an earthquake when the battle was going on.
Well, yeah, I think I have some. But Dr. Harrow, do you really think they want to raise it up? Because it seems to be that there are different factions. The snake we found, the serpent guy, was he blue, red, gold, or green?
Green, yeah.
Okay, so the colors might be more symbolic than actual.
It could represent a class system rather than the actual color of the skin color.
Yeah, that seems fair. But I was just trying to guess if this faction war is still ongoing somehow, or who these might have belonged to.
I don't know. It's possible that we've got 2 separate things going on. We've got snake people and we've got the inner knight, and they might not be the same group.
Do any of you have archaeology?
I have a smidgen. I have 8%.
I have base. I'll roll it.
Yeah. I'm not sure that you would know unless you were the kind of person who studies this sort of things, but that's okay.
I say we get out of here before somebody flips a switch and the gears start turning. Don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Should we take some rubbins or something so we can send it back to headquarters?
Doesn't one of you have photographic memory?
Well, yeah, I do.
Didn't you guys ask me earlier if you guys had a camera?
Yeah.
You guys can take photos.
With the flash?
Did I miss this, or is this just the end of the... Or are there tunnels branching off
there's
here
no
at the
tunnels.
bottom?
Nothing branching off.
Okay, I missed that. Sorry.
This
Okay.
is basically a big drill. I'm guessing each of them are a part of a drill that takes whatever's probably in the middle down into the ground.
And
But there's
Or
a
up.
switch over here that you can just
Well,
pull. That
eventually
swings over
up,
here.
yeah.
Clink, 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 clink.
no
Giant
touching.
lever at the bottom.
I would also like to point out that the castle on top of the volcano suggests that there might be, there are some geologists theorize that there are super volcanoes waiting to erupt someday. I don't want to wake up the Golden Lizard Queen or cause most of Bolivia to erupt in a Krakatoa-like explosion that will cover the earth with ash for 7 years. Let's just get rid of these lizard people, find the mummy, and go back to New York, where we can get a decent meal.
I believe I agree with Dr. Harrow at this point.
Yep.
And that's probably a good spot for us to end it for tonight. So, our players included Cohen Lighton, Carrie Marion, Kent Blue, Julian Arba, Dakota Poole, and David Gassaway with yours truly as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.